but 99% of life vanished, but some traces remain. But these remnants are the silent archives of deep time. A paleontologist seeks specific rock formations for discovery. And the search begins with careful, methodical field examination. And a subtle color difference often betrays the fossil's presence. Identifying the bone requires expert visual recognition. Once found, precise documentation of its exact location is paramount. On every measurement, every photograph builds the final context. On extraction is a careful dance between removal and preservation. E-plaster jackets stabilize the fragile specimens for transport. Transporting these ancient treasures demands specialized logistics. And now that we understand field collection, let's explore preparation. For preparation, technicians painstakingly remove the matrix rock. And this stage reveals the true shape of the dinosaur bone. Chemical consolidants are applied to reinforce the ancient structure. Dozens of specialized instruments are needed for delicate tasks. But cracks and breaks sustained over eons must be repaired perfectly. This requires incredible concentration, often under high magnification. And eventually, the individual bone emerges, clean and stabilized. Every piece is digitally cataloged before reconstruction begins. A 3D scanning captures the precise geometry of each element. These scans create intricate, measurable digital models. Now that we understand preparation, let's explore assembly logic. Digital modeling allows paleontologists to test assembly hypotheses. Comparative anatomy guides the placement of every single component. Thousands of pieces must be sorted, often belonging to different individuals. An assembly starts with the pelvis and vertebral column as the core. A mounting hardware must support great weight without damaging fossils. Connecting the spine establishes the dinosaur's posture and gait. Each segment must align perfectly to recreate natural movement. The skull presents unique challenges due to its complex, hollow structure. Fossil surfaces rarely fit flawlessly. Gaps must be scientifically inferred. The inferred spaces are filled based on related, complete dinosaur relatives. A limb reconstruction dictates whether the dinosaur walked or stood. Joint mobility is restricted by bone shape, not just modern interpretation. The massive tail balances the entire creature's bulk effectively. Ribs define the dinosaur S-body cavity and internal volume. The skeleton begins to emerge, showcasing its ancient form. and every choice in placement affects the overall dynamic posture. A fossilized bone texture contrasts sharply with the modern steel armature. Sometimes, the missing pieces must be fabricated entirely. But casting relies on precise molds taken from related, complete specimens. A lightweight, durable resin recreates the original bone mass perfectly. And these fabricated elements restore the skeleton's completeness and symmetry. But the sheer scale of these ancient animals is breathtaking when assembled. Recreating the head requires integrating hundreds of tiny cranial elements. The last connection completes the visual representation of the ancient predator. We are now witnessing a form that has not existed for millennia. A final installation requires engineering to withstand public viewing. The light shifts, bringing the fossilized structure to life once more. This composite structure serves as a physical, tangible connection to deep time. Sometimes, mineralized skin impressions offer clues about soft tissues. Scientists infer muscle mass and coloration from bone structure. The terminal elements define how the dinosaur finally interacted with the ground. But each reconstruction is a temporary scientific consensus, subject to revision. But the bones invite us to imagine the flesh, the roar, the life. It is this marriage of evidence and imagination that defines paleontology. That the dedicated work connects the present observer to the distant past. But the complex process yields more than just bonus, it yields narratives. And so, the story of the dinosaurs continues, piece by painstaking piece.